Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Pizza Plus Coffee Equals Code. Today we're here with Paulina from DragonBear Studios to talk about Innchanted. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And I guess for people who don't know what Innchanted is or who DragonBear Studios are, could you give a bit of an overview of those for everybody?
Sure thing. So, Enchanted is a online cooperative multiplayer game where you and up to four friends run a magical inn and serve monsters or customers and make magical potions and essentially go through the hectic business life of running a magical inn. And essentially you're trying to succeed to defeat your evil wizard landlord, of course.
It's always the landlords.
I'm the creative director of DragonBear Studios, which is a little local indie developer based in Melbourne, Australia. And yeah, we've been developing for a couple of years now, this title, and it's been pretty exciting.
Uh, and looking at DragonBear and Enchanted and everything, diversity seems like a massive focal point. I guess how's that helped bring the game together, having such a diverse crew of individuals working on the game?
Um, it's always, when you make a team, if you all think exactly the same way, you won't have much diversity of ideas and implementation, and I don't know. So we wanted to make our team as diverse as possible in all different ways. And so that has meant that it's been really, really fun creatively to hear all the different opinions and understand them. And the perspectives that come with that are really important, not just to us in development, but also to the audiences that will want this. You want a product made by someone like you and that understands your perspective. And so in this way, we hope that Enchanted is accessible to a wide audience of people from all walks of life. It's definitely been, we've worked with a lot of First Nations developers and artists and writers. And so there is a lot of elements of Indigenous inspiration and values in the game as well. It is kind of actually set in a fantastical, magical parallel Australia that hasn't been colonized. So it's based in the past. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, some people would call Australia fantastical and magical, just because of how different it is. But being from New Zealand, I'm not going to say that about Australia. Of course, I can't compliment it. It's illegal. They'll kick me out.
I'm sorry about the possums.
We'll forgive you one day. But you mentioned there something that I think is just super important to make sure it doesn't slip by, and that is those Indigenous Australian aspects. Like, it's something that not every game is going to be doing. It's not something that we get to see so often. And I guess, how important was it to make sure that Indigenous culture was portrayed and respected in this game?
Quintessentially important. Essentially, we wanted to include a bunch of groups that we felt like often don't get showtime in mainstream media, and particularly in games. So when you do this, you have to spend a lot of time consulting with the different groups, because there's no such thing as one opinion represents everyone. Humans are such diverse and different people and creatures. So we spent years consulting with different groups, and we have an Indigenous consultant, BB Watson, who's kind of in charge of that, and she talks with the elders and liaises with them and make sure that everyone that we can gets to have a say. Yeah. Essentially, we're trying to make a game. We're trying to do something new and innovative, and although you can't, it's impossible to make everyone happy. We're trying our best to make sure we keep all those sensitivities in mind.
And you talk about these conversations going back for a few years. How long have you been working on Enchanted, and how has the idea grown from when you first had the idea to now where it is?
Quite a few years. I didn't know this when I started this project, that games take so long to make. Like, wow. I know they told me. Yeah, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, but we're technically on our 4th year this year. I will break it down for you because that seems like a phenomenal long time. So, there's a year of just 2 people prototyping. Me and my co-founder Ben were prototyping for just a year. And then there's a year of like working on the prototype for pitching to Film Victoria and to investors and publishers. And then after that, then there's pre-production, and then there's development. So this year we went full launch into development. So although it seems like a long time, the meat of it has kind of, I guess, maybe not the meat, but a large quantity of it has been happening this year.
And then you finally get it to this stage, and I guess, what does it mean to be selected for that PAX Australia indie showcase and sort of be able to show your game to this audience?
Really exciting actually. This is actually the second time we've been lucky to be selected as part of the showcase. We were in PAX last year too, and it was really phenomenal just to see thousands of people downloading the game and playing it. This year, due to COVID and just how stressful the last 2 years have been, we actually decided not to do a demo for this specific showcase, unfortunately. However, we think that that's pretty understandable considering the year everyone's had. And I guess it's really important for us, for the mental health of the team comes first, because there'll always be another showcase. There'll always be another opportunity to let people play test our game, and so we'll be having like a cool little stream to show you what we've been up to, if that's of interest.
Yeah, and like that's also, I guess when I'm looking at a project like this, and I'm looking at the indigenous elements and the diversity elements, caring about your team's mental health as much as it shouldn't be also feels like such a rare thing in games nowadays, that to hear you say this is like, it gives you the warm and fuzzies a little bit, because people should be caring about this a bit more.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's just such a, it's been such a long journey, and the people you make it with are so important. And I feel like nothing in this world could be more important than making sure that everyone's okay this year. Like, and especially with how difficult game development is already, without all these extra. I don't know why we decided to make a game and then ramp the difficulty up to like maximum. Can someone tweak the settings, please?
Yeah. It's always the case. You have a little idea and it seems simple, and then just explodes. So just coming back to that like little seed idea at the start, where did this whole concept of a magical inn simulation game come from?
So essentially, the idea of running a magical inn came from a D&D campaign that I was running.
Nice.
And we were just having such a great time that I was like, you know what, this would be the coolest video game. And also we were playing a lot of cooperative games online, and we just felt like we hadn't seen this done like this. And so we thought, let's mix these two things that we really love together and see how we go. And then it grew from there.
Is there still a good amount of the D&D elements, or have you sort of moved across into your own sort of world and structure around it?
It has been like a little bit hard. There's a lot of like D&D flavor in there, but also I guess D&D is quite a niche thing. And we didn't want to alienate other audiences. Like when we play test it, we love seeing like, families play it and kids teaching their parents how to play it. And I think definitely they wouldn't know what D&D is. But I think if you do like D&D, the references are there. They're just not presented in a way that would alienate people who don't care about tabletop games or fantasy in that way. Yeah,
they're not required for understanding it and everything. Personally,
Yeah.
I'll enjoy them as I've paused my 3D printer that's currently printing a new dice tray for me. Uh, quite, uh,
So
quite enjoy it.
that's really awesome. Yeah, no, actually, definitely. The four main characters are like adventurers. So definitely, it's still all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talk about families there. Like I've played, I guess similar co-op games with my family. You know, we get the kids together and the parents together, and we all just sort of jam it out on the couch. How much effort or importance was there put into that aspect of literally anybody could play this game?
Heaps, enormous quantities. From the very start, we've been playtesting it with like local audiences in real life, and we particularly feel like this is a game that couples would really like. And it's really, really cute to watch them play it together. I can say, thankfully, it's very different to Overcooked. It's not a couple breaking game. I like to think of it as more like a couple making game.
Yeah.
And so definitely, yeah, like creating design that allows people to just pick up and play it, to have that simplicity without too much difficulty, but also having that depth for more experienced players as
well. And you mentioned Overcooked there, I guess, just for the curmudgeon viewer that's listening and they're going, "Oh, it's just Overcooked with a new skin on it." Can you give a bit of a, I guess, contrast?
That was a good impression.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just the comment section, verbalized. You, I guess, contrast or mention some of the, I guess, differences that is going to make Enchanted stand out.
Overcooked definitely has been a huge inspiration for us. However, we've taken a completely different direction. For example, Overcooked is, I guess, about getting those 3 stars to pass your level. You need to it's a flurry of hectic and yelling at each other and things. Although there are those elements here, we wanted to take a different approach that was a bit more chill. So there's actually no gating to the levels. If you don't get enough stars and levels, you can still continue on if you want to. So because there is a narrative aspect, unlike Overcooked. Well, I guess that's arguable. There's a narrative aspect that I think is important in here, and that is that that whole like you're running an inn, you're taking that type of ownership and reflecting on that ownership, and so you're getting to have elements of, oh, this is my place. How should I keep it? Should I make these decisions to look after it, or should I do marketing or whatever you want to do as a business, as an in running business in a magical world. I guess also just another core difference from Overcooked is that, like, yes, there's a bunch of level design, but there's also just different more, I guess, adventure RPG elements. Like there's a shop where you can buy upgrades, and there's a nighttime phase where you can make these decisions like I was talking about, and that will create effects for the next day and affect how the next day goes. I think PC Gamer wrote a quote about us that it was like Overcooked, except for that part where you're not friends at the end. And I think that summarized the differences really well, of how do you, creating a cooperative game that you'll have a fun experience without necessarily that much tension.
And I guess one of the positive correlations with Overcooked as well is that if you watch the trailer or you look on social media, there's a lot of humor, a lot of puns, and a lot of just general having fun. And I guess, is that the brand of humor we're going to expect throughout the game?
Yes. It's definitely in the name of the game that puns are kind of quintessential. So sorry if that's not your thing. But when you groan, you're participating. That's part of the fun. So definitely lots of silly humor, and it's I hope it's a really funny game. I hope it makes people laugh.
I think from the reaction to the trailer, at least, people seem to be enjoying the humor from that. And then I guess to the final question that we sort of ask everybody, my 9 to 5 job, I'm a software developer, and as the show name suggests, pizza and coffee is what keeps me going and generates that code out at the end. What keeps you going, or what keeps DragonBear Studios going in those sort of tough days? Maybe you're having a rough one, but still got to keep grinding at it.
That's a good question. I don't think anyone's asked me that question before.
Okay.
Now I have to think of an answer. So every week we do playtests and we play the game together. And it's not like, yes, we have specific playtests during the week, like QA playtest or like make this feature work playtest. But every week we do just like a playtest where we do a creative playtest and we just chat to each other and bounce off ideas and try and make sure that we still got that feeling of, yeah, what's it like to play this as a player? And that keeps us grounded and connected. And it's also just like fun to think of random things that are definitely beyond the scope of the game, but would be fun in a magical universe to implement. And I guess we also do this with other games too. We play as a team. We play games, social games together during this physically challenged times. And I guess it really helps that everyone on our team is such lovely, kind-hearted, and talented people, in my opinion.
I'm sure that would.
Also, they laugh at my puns, so
that's the importance. That puts you higher up on the scale. If you laugh at the puns, you go to the top.
Yeah, basically.
And if people are sitting here and they wanna check out these puns, they want to hear them so badly, where can they head to hear more about either Innchanted or DragonBear Studios?
Okay, so the two main things I would recommend is to wishlist us on Steam. But if Steam's not your thing, we'll also be releasing on all the platforms. So jump on our mailing list at Innchanted.com. And it's true, I'm very rarely send an email, but that's because I don't like to spam people. But I do occasionally send out an email just to say hi and tell you about what we're up to. And there will be a lot of, we'll keep you updated on release dates and things like that. And I guess there's also, if you really want to hang out, we do have a Discord server where I share a lot of screenshots that I don't necessarily share with the public. And we will be having a kind of private playtest sometime in the near future. So if that is of fancy, we'd love to have you.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to have a chat today.
No worries. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I didn't get any pizza though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think like there's some lying going on here.
The coffee and the pizza's for me.
Oh, I see.
I don't think I've had pizza for a while.
That's fair.